Alright, so this is the final gaming PC that I will make this week, and this is my gaming PC, guys, so please press on that like button so more people could watch this video. And today we're looking at a $350 Ryzen 5600G gaming PC build. Now, I've been using this gaming PC for a year now, and let me tell you that I'm having a great experience with it. I'm not having any drawbacks. It's a really good gaming PC for $350. It's not the best, it's not the fastest, definitely, but it really gets the job done, and it gives you a great upgrade path if you decided to change the higher end GPU in the future. Without wasting any more time, let's get it with the benchmarks. So we have 5 games in hand. We are looking at the first game, which is God of War, and at 1080p FSR we are hitting 30 frames per second. As I told you, there are much faster ways to build a gaming PC for $350 and get pretty much higher results than this, but we're looking at a really great upgrade path, and the CPU is actually pretty cool. Now Valorant, which is an FPS game, we are looking at around 200 frames per second, as you saw from the previous benchmarks. I usually play at low settings 144 FPS, so that's no problems for me. Cyberpunk 2077, and this is kind of a sketchy, really demanding game, but I've been playing this game at 720p low settings, and I'm getting a constant 30 frames per second. This is the best way I would play it. I wouldn't not play at 900p or 1080p. Now we have a really light game again. We are looking at Fall Guys, and this game at 1080p, I believe, there hasn't been a lot of options in the settings menu, the graphics settings menu with this game, but we're hitting 60 frames per second at 1080p full textures, and the rest of the resolution is turned down to off. And Fall Guys is a surprisingly demanding game, believe it or not. Now the last game, we're looking at the Amazing Spider-Man, and we are hitting 30 frames per second, but I cannot remember the settings exactly, but I'm pretty sure I have been using FSR balanced mode, I believe at 1080p, and I was getting 30 FPS locked even when free roaming. It was a pretty cool experience, and I will get back to playing this game. And Red Dead Redemption 2, I was hitting 30 frames per second at low settings 900p or even 720p. So yeah, for the APU, we're looking at the one and only Ryzen 5 5600G, but I will link to you down below the cheaper alternative one, the Ryzen 5 4600G. Now both are 6-core 12-threaded CPUs. Both are pretty same in terms of performance, GPU and CPU performance. As you can see from the benchmarks right now, there hasn't been a big difference. The only difference is in the FPS intensive games, and I don't think you would need that. But hey, if your budget allows you for a 5600G, then go for it and just don't, try to cheap out. Overall, it's a really good APU, as you saw from the benchmarks. It's not that hot, doesn't run hot. On low, it only goes at 70 degrees. Now yeah, the previous video showed that it went to 85, but I just needed to change the thermal paste at that time, and I changed it and the temperatures were fine. And the motherboard, the one that I would recommend you to get it right now, is the Asrock A520M-HDV. That's a micro ATX board. It gets the job done. It's compatible with any of the APUs out of the box. Only got 2 RAM slots. You can go all the way up to a 5800X 3D, so you got all the bells and whistles ready for you. And the RAM, we are looking at 16 gigs to 8GB sticks of DDR4 3200 MHz RAM. This is the one that I'm going with, and this is the one that you will go with. It gets the job done. It's more than enough for now. It's a very good one for entry-level budget gaming PCs. And the SSD, we're looking at 512GB SSD. I went with a 240GB 1 and 1TB hard drive because I need that space, But I'd leave that to you. I'm a content creator, you are not, and I wouldn't need that much space if I wasn't actually. Now the power supply and case, we're looking at the Aerocool Cyclon Mini. This one goes for under $50, 48s from B-Gears, but it's the same case and it's a pretty cheap one. You are saving an extra $5. As a power supply, we are not cheaping out there. We're looking at the EVGA Bronze Certified one in case you decided to upgrade to a higher end GPU in the future. So overall, that's been it, guys. A pretty quick video on my gaming PC. This is a PC that I'm using. This is a PC that I have been using for the past year, editing the videos on it, doing all the work, gaming. It's a really good one. I would like to change the CPU in the future, or maybe get a higher end GPU. But yeah, that's another topic for another day, and stay tuned for a lot of benchmarks in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.